So typical for my class, just a mat is fine. If you happen to have blocks, blanket, obviously feel free to use them, but they're not required for practice. Awesome. And if you're going to be staying, just throw a comment in the comment section that you're going to be practicing with me, because then I just know. Awesome. Okay, Ashley's here. Cool. And then there's one other person. If you could just throw a comment down if you're going to be staying for practice. I just have to go yell at my dog real quick. Hold on. Ruben, no barking. No. No barking. Shh. Well. If everybody just hangs tight, I'm just going to put some treats in her Kong. Hi, Tamara. So that she maybe won't be barking. She's just wants attention. She's such a little goober. So I'm just going to fill her Kong up and I'll be right back. All right, this thing is full of treats now, so hopefully she'll just chew on this instead of just barking the entire time. Ready? All right, great. Let's get started. So as you arrive in your seated position, go ahead and close your eyes. Allow your arms to relax, shoulders down away from the ears, shoulder blades sliding down the spine. And we'll just take a moment to turn the attention inward by just closing out our visual experience and beginning to notice our internal experience. And that will still include sounds, sensations like the temperature of the air or physical sensations that might be coming up. And just acknowledging what you're noticing, not getting attached to anything or seeing anything as separate from your practice. Sometimes we can see certain things as like a major distraction, but just kind of embracing that into the practice today. Like, you know, like Ruby's probably going to be kind of annoying, but just part of the practice. Now we'll hone the attention a little bit more to focus on the breath. And what we're going to start to adopt for just a few minutes is a 4-part breath. So we're going to inhale and count your inhalation. So how long does it take you in your own method of counting for you to get to the very bottom, to the very top of your inhalation? And once you get to the top of your inhale, you're going to pause for just a beat, right? Like a 1-2 beat at the top. And then you're going to exhale, and you're going to try to make your exhale even to your inhale best that you can. And at the bottom of your exhale, as you completely empty out your belly, you're going to pause at the bottom of the exhale before inhaling again. And then you're just going to repeat that process. So it's a 4-part breath. Perfect. And wherever you are, just finishing your exhale, and you can open your eyes. Yeah, so breath work like that just helps to get a little bit more centered. It helps to allow the outside world to kind of fall away a little bit, so we can be a little bit more present in the moment, in our bodies, in our practice. So let's begin to move around. So having blocks nearby, if you have them, we're going to come into a tabletop position. Now I want you to bring your right knee to the center line of your mat, and you're going to hook your left knee behind and then open up your hips so the ankles are going to come out to the sides. We're coming into a reverse cat-cow. So on the inhalation, we're going to round our backs, tuck the pelvis, chin to chest. Exhale to untuck pelvis, extend the spine, chest forward, gaze up. Inhale, rounding. Exhale, arching. Following the rhythm of your own breath. Good. Coming to neutral spine here. We're going to begin to draw a big circle with the pelvis. We're stirring the pot, creating the biggest, smoothest circle that you can. Keep those fingers down, bottoms of the knuckle, like the whole palm is just glued into your mat here. You're rolling around the wrists and just creating this kind of like energy of like flow, sort of a liquid energy, a swirling energy, and switch directions around. And now really breathe here in and out through your nose. Get that energy flowing. Waking up the pelvis, waking up the hips, waking up the core. Beautiful. Now from here, we're grabbing onto our blocks and we're going to walk our blocks. And again, if you don't have blocks, you can just walk your hands towards your body. But if you have blocks, they're going to be very handy here. Towards your hips. And then if you can, you might not be able to, that's okay. You can stay with your hands down. But if you can, you're going to start to bring the hips forward. All right, shoulders stacked over the hips, okay? And then the arms can come up over the head, clasping onto your elbows. Now drop the tail, keep the ribs tucked best you can. So we're trying not to arch. It's not easy, so just do your best to keep that neutral low back, right? That square pelvis. Don't forget to breathe here. Now, if you're here relatively comfortably, you can begin just a tiny back bend, not through the lumbar, but through the mid spine. You're going to keep dropping the tail, tucking the pelvis as you come into a slight back bend. Good. If you've come up to clasp your elbows, releasing down, hands come down to the blocks, and slowly, slowly walking the hands back out, and the hands come back underneath the shoulders. Now bringing the ankles from the sides to behind you, tuck your toes under, and you're going to come into a cross-legged downward facing dog. So even out your feet here. So if you have like one foot that's like way up here, right? Just even out your feet best you can. You don't have to lock your knees out. A little soft bend in the knees. And a few deep breaths in and out through the nose, breathing deep into the belly. Beautiful. Now take your left foot, you're going to lift it up, bring it around, and put it in front of your right foot. So now we have switched to sides, coming back down to the knees. We're in this cross-legged position, external rotation through the hips. And we are starting second side. So beginning with that cat-cow, inhale, round the spine. Exhale, extend. Continue at your own breath pace. Really feel that movement in the pelvis, right? That pelvic tilt is what moves the rest of the spine. So initiate that movement at the base of your spine. All right, let's start to stir the pot. Now continue to breathe. Do not hold your breath. Really get that breath going, in and out. Create some energy, create some momentum. And switch directions. Try not to let the head drop, so don't stare at your legs, looking at the top of your mat. Good, finding stillness here. And just resealing the inner thighs together if they've come kind of loose with all that movement, and grabbing the blocks. Now just be prepared for a major difference from side to side in this posture. Like this side feels a little bit easier to me. Doing your best to keep your hips square, so they're gonna wanna rotate. That's normal, right? Just be aware of that and do your best to be as symmetrical as possible. And then come up and over, clasping elbows. Try to grab on the opposite way if you can remember. Now we're dropping that tail under. Pelvic tilt, pelvic tilt. And then if you'd like, you can get a slight back bend from the mid-spine, thoracic spine. Squeeze those legs together tight for stability. Good, release the arms. And we'll slowly down. Hands coming into the mat underneath the shoulders. Good, so bring those feet back onto the mat, tuck the toes, cross-legged downward facing dog, evening out the toes. Good, and then unwind the legs coming into traditional down dog, feet hip distance apart. Little bend in the knees here so we can really get a good stretch for the upper body. On an inhalation, lift the right leg, keeping it even with the other hip. Exhale to glide through high plank, three-legged high plank. Inhale, press back, down dog, three-legged down dog. Exhale, three-legged plank, shoulders come over wrists. One more time, inhale, lift, three-legged dog. Exhale, this time right foot comes to the outside of the right pinky. Drop the back knee down and the top of the foot comes down. Now this is another place, if you have blocks, place them underneath your hands. That is going to help us get more into that upright position, especially if you have really tight hips like I do. Watch me, I'm like, if I come down here, I cannot flatten my back. Like that's just not gonna happen. So for me, I love to use blocks because then, my posture suddenly is so much more comfortable, right? I just feel like I'm getting more out of the posture with my little block. Shoulders are down away from the ear, so we're not hanging out like this. We're really trying to get the chest lifted, pelvis is moving down and forward. Breathing into the hips. Don't hold that breath. Keep it flowing. Oxygenate those muscles. Good work. Nice. So blocks come off to the side if you're using them. Tuck the back toe under. Lift the knee. And then send that right foot back into the downward facing dog. Nice. Good work. All right, left leg is going to lift on an inhale. Exhale, glide through, three-legged plank. Inhale, reach back, three-legged dog. Exhale, come forward. One more time, inhale back. Exhale, left foot swings to the outside of the left pinky. Setting up your low lunge here. So, we talk about this a lot in yin, but just noticing kind of what physical sensations arise for you and how do you meet those sensations, right? Do you feel kind of agitated or maybe you feel discouraged when you feel your muscles that are tight. Maybe it doesn't bother you at all. You don't have a reaction. Just noticing that, because the cool thing about yoga is how we show up on our mat and how we face our discomforts on the mat says a lot about how we handle things off of the mat. It's all just about that self-awareness. It's a big part of the benefits of yoga. Good. Removing your block. Come down. Now let's really set up in an organized fashion, getting back into that down dog. Tuck the back toe, engage the back leg, and then send that left leg back, down dog. Pedaling out of the heel. Beautiful. Now right foot lift the right foot on an inhale. And exhale, bring that right foot up. Drop the back knee. Inhale, arms lift up over your head. Exhale, frame front foot, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot lifts. Exhale, bring left foot between thumbs. Drop back knee. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lift. Exhale, bring it between the thumbs. Drop back knee, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lift. Exhale, left foot between thumbs. Drop back knee, inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hands frame foot down dog. One more time. Inhale, right leg lift. Exhale, thumbs. Drop back knee. Inhale, arms up. Now hold here. As you exhale, twist to the right. Arms coming in line with shoulder height, looking over the right shoulder. Now the hips continue to move forward. Right, so we're not twisting through the low body here. Low body stays square to the front. The twist is happening through the upper body. Shoulders relaxed, chest lifted. But on your next inhalation, arms over the head. Exhale, frame front foot downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lift. Exhale, plant the left foot between the palms. Drop back knee. Inhale, lift the arms. Hold. Exhale, twist left. Arms drop, shoulder tight. Looking over left shoulder. Lean through the leg for stability. On an inhale, arms come up over the head. Exhale, frame front foot downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower knees, belly, chest, opposite down. Inhale, baby cobra, feel the chest up. Exhale through tabletop to downward facing dog. Inhale, feet walk to the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, flat back, standing through, arms up over the head. Exhale, Tadasana. Hold your Tadasana. Breathe. Even close your eyes if you'd like to. Softly. Relax the shoulders. Awesome. All right, if you close your eyes, open your eyes. On an inhale, arms come up over the head, clasping all 10 fingers, but the index fingers. Exhale to the right lateral bend. Hold and breathe. Now, while we're here, it is awesome if you can try to straighten your elbows. If it doesn't happen, it's really okay. But really, to me, the most important thing is that we're not bending inward, right? So really try to open up the chest and like unwind the body. So we're in a lateral bend instead of a twist. On your next inhale, come back through center, and we'll exhale to second side. So again, it's not so much like how far can you come down, are your elbows straight, whatever. Just try not to collapse forward. And inhale to bring you through center. Exhale, hands come by your sides and behind you. Clasp all your fingers. Now on an inhalation, we're going to bring the feet together. We're going to lift the chest and really reach down, bringing palms together, coming into back bend. Exhale through bent knees, forward fold, standing yoga mudra. Now relax your head completely and reach up with your fist. Trying to press those palms together. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bend your knees and relax your head and neck. Don't forget to breathe here. Good. On your next inhale, deeply bend the knees, arms sweep by the sides and over the head. You're coming into chair pose. Now, like I said, we set this up so that the feet are together. Now, squeeze your knees together. Wrapping pinkies inward will help to release the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Now on an inhalation, straighten out the legs, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, through high plank all the way down to your mat. Hug the elbows in. Inhale, back bend of your choice. You can do baby cobra, full cobra, or up dog. And exhale back into your downward facing. Inhale, feet come to the hands. You can hop, walk, whatever. Exhale as you arrive, forward fold. Inhale through flat back, rise up, standing salute, arms over the head. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose, arms by your side. Inhale, arms lift. And exhale, sit back into your chair. Now, our feet are not close together now. They are underneath our hips, right? So a little different stance in this one. Good. Now on an inhale, bring the hands apart. Exhale to twist right, hooking your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. Now, one thing that might happen is if you look down, if your left knee has traveled forward like mine has, you've got to bring it back. Now, what that's going to do is, look at what this does to my rotation. It really shortens it. But guys, this is my real rotation though, not this. This is what I would call like fake rotation, because what I'm really doing is I'm just twisting through my pelvis, which is not spinal mobility, right? I'm just compensating. So it might be a little bit of a bummer to kind of like come out of the range a little, but I promise it's for your own good. Now pour all your weight into the right leg and then shoot that left leg back. Now you are in a lunge. So guys, anytime you need to, just drop to the bottom knee, totally fine. Now looking over right shoulder, squeeze the legs towards the midline. Keep everything tight. And then on your inhale, we're going to bring the arms up over the head, coming into high lunge, Anjaneyasana. Woo, that front quad is burning for me. For anyone else. Beautiful. Now we're going to come into extended side angle, turning the left foot 90 degrees. We're going to rest the forearm on the right thigh, and then reach up over the line from the ankle, the hip, through the ribs, shoulder, elbow, and fingertips. Good. Okay, so we're going to face our upper body towards the mat. So we're kind of rotating in. Lift the heel of the back foot. So we're in this low lunge position, kind of like where we were at the beginning of class. Now we can send that right leg back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Hold here. Take a few breaths. Good. On your next inhale, gliding into high plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, feet to hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up through flat back, arms come over the head. Exhale, Tadasana. Hold and breathe, and feel free to close your eyes. A moment of stillness, of quiet. Good. Open your eyes. On an inhale, arms sweep up over the head. Exhale, sit the hips back into chair. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, twist left, hooking right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Now look down. If that right knee has traveled forward, bring it back. Exhale, bringing more deeply into your twist. Even if it's just a thought. You might not even move, but just think about it. Pour all the way into your left leg. Now shoot that right leg back behind you. High lunge. Tightening up all the muscles towards the midline. Your face and gaze are soft. Everything else is engaged to keep you stable, to keep you safe and balanced. On an inhalation, arms come up over the head, high lunge. Beautiful extended side angle, pivoting out the right foot 90 degrees, placing the left forearm to the top of the thigh. Reach up over your head, create that strong straight line. Squeeze the legs. Yeah, so we're not just hanging out in the hips, right? Tuck the tail here. Can you do a posterior pelvic tilt here? See how that feels. Good. So we're going to pivot the back. So we're externally rotated through the back hip. We're going to internally rotate that hip, lifting the heel. Hands come down to the inside of that left foot. Beautiful. From here, we step back, downward facing dog. Yes. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, feet to hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up through flat back, arms sweep up over the head. Exhale, Tadasana. Nice. All right, so we'll be doing The warrior that we'll be doing today is warrior 3. And I'm just going to do a demo because it's a lot easier than me trying to coach it. And to be honest, I'm like not that great at this particular posture. So the last thing I want for you to be looking at me and you're trying to balance and you're watching me, which could be hazardous to all of us. So there's several ways to do this posture. Now, if you do workouts in the gym, you'll kind of recognize warrior 3 as a deadlift. Basically, it's a single leg deadlift. So if I was going to start with my left side, I'm going to pour the weight into my left foot, hover my right foot, and I'm just going to first come back into this hip hinge. Now, there's several things you can do with the hands. You can have your hands on blocks, totally fine. You can have your hands behind you by your sides. You can have your hands out to the side or up over your head, right? I love to clasp my hands together because it makes me feel very powerful. So if you do that, you can have your index fingers released and up over your head like this. So some people like to come into the pose, right? So inhale, arms up, clasp all fingers, but the index, and exhale to come down. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna coach it, but you just do whatever works best for you, okay? So starting in Tadasana, inhale, arms lift up over the head, clasping all fingers but the index. And exhale, lifting right leg. Left knee is soft, strong through the left side. And keep engagement through the right leg as well, right? So don't have a wet noodle back there. Really squeeze that right leg. Reach back with the heel. Engage the quad and thigh. And now breathe. Try to get your biceps right next to your ears. Good. It's an inhale to bring you up. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Hold and breathe in your mountain pose. You can close your eyes. Feeling where the concentration of energy is on your left side. Good. You've closed your eyes, open them, prepare. We're going to inhale, arms lift up over the head, clasping all fingers but index. Exhale, weight in the right foot, coming down, lifting that left leg, engage that left leg, soft through the right knee, squeezing through the leg, imagining roots growing out down from your right foot into the mat. Don't forget to breathe, everyone. It's an inhale to bring you up. Exhale, forward fold. Now deep bend through the knees, clasping on opposite elbows. Completely relax your head and neck and just totally chill out down here. You can have your feet slightly apart, giving you a little more stability. You can rock side to side. Totally relax. Releasing the elbows, coming into a flat back on your inhalation. Exhale, coming through high plank, through chaturanga, all the way down to your belly. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, lower back down to your belly. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, lower down to your belly. Inhale, back bend. Now at the top of your back bend, your elbows should be over your wrist, okay? Sorry, that was a long explanation. And exhale down one more time for everyone. And this time exhaling into child's pose. Extended child's pose, knees wide or together. Just rest your head. Good. Lifting up the hips and coming back into our down dog. Lifting up just the right leg here. Now we're going to start with the hips square. Okay, so you can even like look down. So really, if your toes are facing straight down, that's a good sign. If your toe is out like this to the side, you know that the hips probably are not square. What's happening in the foot and ankle is happening in the hip. So evening out the hips, squaring out the hips, very similar position to what we were doing, right, in the Warrior 3. It's basically the same position. We're just turned upside down. So from here, we're going to open the right hip. So we are going to externally rotate. So you're opening up the right hip and then bend your knee. Yeah. So this, it can be a stretch in many different places depending on your body. Like for me, I feel it a lot in the inner thigh on my left side and hamstring. Try to keep equal weight in your arms. So try not to change anything in the upper body or in the left leg. Just do your best. Do your best. Good. Now slowly, I want you to straighten your right knee. And then you're going to drop that right hip so that now you're square again, right? So we're back to the original position we were in. Yes. And then glide through high plank. And we're going to bring the right knee to drop right behind the right wrist. And we end up in a pigeon pose. So untuck the back toes. Now from here, we're going to keep an upright pigeon posture. Okay, so we're not going to come down. We're going to stay upright. So what's important here is that we're not just collapsing on the lumbar discs. We still want to try to maintain, I know it sounds crazy in this position, but you still want to kind of maintain that pelvic tilt. If you have blocks, that's going to be helpful. And you're going to feel it less here and more through the hip on the left side. So it's a little bit of a different stretch than the normal pigeon where you're kind of holding forward. Beautiful. Now from here, we will come into that forward fold. And you can feel how that's going to, the stretch is going to shift and most likely it's going to go into your right hip. But it's different for everyone. If you're feeling different sensations. Pressing up through the hands, nice and slow. Tuck the back toe. Now, before we just go back into down dog, we're going to get in a specific way. So our hands are under the shoulders. Spread the fingers nice and wide. So you've noticed that my leg was back here, and I've kind of scooted it forward a little bit. So you do the same. Now I'm going to engage the back leg, lift the knee, and then I'm going to hover my right leg up off of the floor. So I'm going to lift this hip and hover my right leg. Just like that. Yeah, and then from here, I'm going to stretch back and then place the right foot down. Yeah, so it's just, again, all we're doing is just moving in an organized fashion, right? So from here, let's lift up the left leg. So we're going to start with the hip here. So you can look down if you can your left toes, but make sure they're pointing down. That's a pretty good indication. And then let's open the left hip to the side. Now try to keep equal weight in your arm. And then bend that left. You're going to flop that left leg over. Try not to twist the right leg. And even out the weight in the palms. So straighten the left knee. And then even out the hip. Glide forward, three-legged plank. Bring the left knee right to the back of that left wrist. And then place the left knee down. Stretching out through the right leg. And we'll be first in our more of a king pigeon posture, upright posture. And again, we're going to feel it probably more through the front hip here. You're trying to lengthen the low back so we're not just hanging out, pressing the lumbar disc. We'll come to forward fold here. Press up through the hands. Take our final down dog. Now, just like last time, we're going to get there in a very organized fashion. So scooting that right leg in a little bit, lift that knee, engage the quad, hover the left leg, press back, and place the left foot down. Final downward facing dog. Drop to your knees, tabletop. We'll just cross the ankles behind us so we can come to lie down. We'll have a block with you. Now, if you have no blocks, while we're doing supported bridge, you could be in a butterfly position with the legs. So just a different stretch, but really nice too. So if you don't have a block, you'll bring your feet together and then just let your knees fall out to the sides with your arms up over your head. If you do have a block, then we're going to use it for our supported bridge. So pressing up through the feet and inserting the bridge right underneath your pelvis at low, medium, or high. And just adjust it so that you feel totally supported. Just make sure your thighs stay parallel. You can bring your arms up over your head if you'd like. And really just sink right into this posture. You can close your eyes. Allows for some really lovely breathing. So we'll all kind of, if you've taken butterfly or the bridge, arms come back down by your sides. If you're in your butterfly, you're gonna very slowly just bring your knees back together. And then if you're in bridge, just press through your feet to lift the hips and lower down nice and slow. Awesome. Ruby, no. Ruby's trying to play with me. Ruby, no. Stretching out just the right leg. So there's a few options I'm going to give you. If you just want to bend your knee and bring that leg across your body into a twist, that's totally fine. That's a great twist. But there, if you'd like a little bit of like a spicier option, I mean, it's just kind of different. You can hook your forefinger and middle finger around the left big toe, and then you can bring it across your body. So you gotta just take your time, and then that bottom hip is going to move back underneath you so that the hips are nice and stacked. So I'm kind of holding my toe on this side, and then it will reach over, palm up on the left side. So it's just a little bit of a different version. It doesn't work for everybody. It's totally fine. Like all the twists are really nice. So just choose the one that works best for you. Just giving some options. Now really relax the bottom half of your body. So that's the right half of your body. Try to soften. If you feel like gripping, clutching anywhere, just do your best to breathe into those tension areas. Now it takes a brace through the core to come back to center. Good. Stretching out the left leg and coming into whichever version of the twist you would like on the second side. Relaxing now the best you can the left side of the body. Noticing just the breath kind of slowing down and going back to its natural rhythm as we cool off, making our way to our final pose. Let's a slight brace through the abdominals to come up through center, and then just squaring off those hips. Hugging the knees in one final time, slight rock side to side. If there is any final pose you'd like to take before Shavasana, go for it, and then just meet us in Shavasana when you're ready. I'm gonna hold a knee hug, but for the rest of you, stretching out the legs long, and arms come down by your sides, palms facing up, and close your eyes. Softening the muscles of your face, your jaw. Become aware of your weight, feeling heavy on your mat, grounded, supported, and safe. Extending the letting go into the subtle body, including your mind. Allowing the thoughts, emotions to float by. Not getting attached to any particular thought or feeling. Bringing small movements back into your fingers and toes. And taking a few deep breaths. Hugging your knees into the chest. Allow your knees to fall to the right side of your body. Taking a few breaths in the fetal position. And press up into your original seated position with as little effort as possible. Eyes remain closed. Relax your shoulders and arms, lengthening up through the spine. And once you settle into stillness, return your attention to the breath. And if your mind wanders, just gently bring it back. Eyes can flutter open. Hands come together, pressing thumbs into the heart, taking a moment to extend gratitude to yourself for taking time to practice today. And healing really does start from the inside out. As individuals, as community, culture, nation, and worlds. Inside out. And your yoga practice contributes to that healing. And walking through the world with open heart, open mind, with compassion for ourselves and for others. And taking this patience, the skills that we learn on the mat, bringing them out into the world the best that we can. Namaste.